What's up, everyone? Welcome to the very first Controllers and Katanas podcast. We're just going to introduce ourselves today and just have a little bit of backstory on who we are, how we met, what we're into, what we're watching, what we're playing. I'll kick it off. And my name's Ian, aka Relic. I'm a husband and a father of two, and I love video games and anime, basically. Hence this. And this is my the co-host Martin, aka Marty O'Cool. But I'll let him introduce himself a little bit more.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcio Cool, Twitch streamer, YouTube, and now podcaster. I've been streaming on Twitch for maybe a year and a half, 2 years now, with a various of different games. A load of anime recently, so this is why this podcast has come about.
Yeah, so I thought we'd kick it off firstly with basically the origins of Controllers and Katanas, and just a little bit why we decided to do a podcast, why we want to do a podcast, that sort of thing. So essentially, we chat at work all the time because me and Martin, we actually work together. That's how we met. And obviously during the working day, we work in different departments, so we don't speak all the time. Probably get like 15, 20 minutes a day speaking. And we chat at work all the time about games, anime, movies, TV shows. And we just thought it would be a good idea just to do once a week or so. Just come together and have a proper, more in-depth chat of what we're watching, what we're playing. And we thought the best way to do it is podcast form. So yeah. I've been watching anime since the 90s when I was a kid. I started off with Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, the classic, Sailor Moon, Tenchi Muyo, Gundam Wing, sorry. They were some of the first ones I was obviously got into in terms of the anime sort of route. Same goes for gaming, really. I've always had a console in the house, Commodore 64, Atari, SNES. But I first properly fell in love with gaming on the Mega Drive. I used to play Toe Jam and Earl, Golden Axe, Echo the Dolphin, Sonic. But I used to really love this game called Bubsy. And you was basically a cat, and you go through the level, you have to collect like balls of yarn and things like that. And I used to play it literally all the time. I used to play it at my nan's house when we go around on the weekends and everything. So yeah, went from there to N64s. Started playing more story-driven games. Ocarina of Time, for example, was one of the big ones that comes to mind. And then the PS1 and PS2 were really big. But the original Xbox is what got me into the multiplayer type side of everything. Because as soon as Halo came around, we'd huddle into a tiny room at my mum's house on split screen. There was literally 4, 5, 6 of us at a time in a tiny, tiny box bedroom, and we'd just play it for hours and hours. And basically, you just swap controller. So the two that came bottom last had to give the controller over to the two that weren't playing. But yeah, Martin, what about yourself, matey? How have you got into gaming, and what's your journey so far?
Yeah, so with gaming, it all started off when my uncle brought the Atari for £10. You can't even get a takeaway these days for £10. And then from then it went to every console pretty much that came out. Me and my brother had a dabble on each of the consoles. Like I say earlier, my favourite genre is Final Fantasy from Square Enix. I grew up with them. We had a Mega Drive, played Sonic, Space Harrier, games like that. Then we had a SNES, and we had Sunset Riders, Mario. And then with anime, it all started with Pokemon. Used to watch it before school every day. Back in the 90s, 97 I believe it was, the first one came out. And then from there, with anime, I got recommended Sword Art Online. I started watching that, loved it because it was based on an RPG, which is the kind of games I love. And then from there, went to Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and many others, Fate as well. So many others like that. So that's my journey so far.
Spot on. Yeah, so as you can see, sort of similar backgrounds. In terms of like what consoles we started at, what anime we started at, that sort of thing. So as you can see, this is why we've got a bit of a bond in terms of this sort of like genre. And yeah, just sort of gone to a bit of gaming news really. Martin, you got any recent gaming news at all for us?
Yeah, let me just get my notes up here. So I've got some new releases that I've jotted down. Like a Dragon, one of the Yakuza games, Infinite Wealth is the second one to that game. It's not like the other Yakuza, as in terms of fighting, but it's in the Yakuza world and it's turn-based fighting. So, and I'm playing through that at the moment, and I'm really enjoying that. We had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in February, which I'm playing also, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm actually streaming that as well. Helldivers 2 came out in February, which is getting a lot of popular attention on social media.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy clips for Helldivers. Some dead funny stuff as well. People out there in World War, like, no, my comrade! He's like bolting across the map trying to like defend his honor and stuff.
And it'd be like you destroy like a big boss. I've seen a video of someone destroying a big boss, and then they're like celebrating. Next minute, something random comes out the sky and hits them and just kills them off.
Yeah, it's mad. It's proper mad.
Also, Dragon's Dogma came out in March. I know me and you've spoke about some of the funny character creations on that.
I've got some. I've literally got some. I was on. I think it was Facebook earlier, and I found like a few character creations. I know it's not got the best. It's very mixed reviews on that game, but you cannot fault the creativity of some of the players. There's some some of the character creation. I've seen one. It's literally a bald guy with ears. He looks like Pikachu. It's just so bizarre. It's so funny.
That'll give me nightmares because the creator of Pokemon he dreamt all these creations, didn't he? But if he ever dreamt that, he'd be having nightmares for years.
Yeah, for you visual watchers, should I say, on the video when you're watching it, I'll pop a picture of that one, because it's just if I've got to suffer from watching that and getting nightmares, you've got to suffer too, unfortunately.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we have got Discord as well, so if you want to put the pictures in there, viewers can go in there and have a laugh and also get nightmares from the pictures.
Yeah, obviously as well. Any funny stuff like that, all the links will be in the description. So yeah, just drop down there, get in the Discord, post your funny videos, your creations as well. So in terms of obviously the gaming side of things. I'm a little bit behind with gaming recently, purely because Lethal Company, mate, is just absolutely taken over my life completely. We've got about 40 hours into it at the moment, me and three of my mates, and it's such a basic game, but it's the best £8 I think I've ever spent in my entire life. I've put stuff on my TikTok and my YouTube, just mainly shorts, and they're just funny moments, basically, just dead stupid stuff like none of it makes sense. The physics in that game don't really make sense, and it's just absolutely bizarre. Yeah, absolutely bizarre.
I've seen some of your videos and they are very funny. Some of the shorts had me creasing. But yeah, like I say, go on, you go first.
I was gonna say, with the release of Final Fantasy VII as well, I'm not on the PlayStation side of the platform. I've got an Xbox. I've got the new Xbox, but I swapped over to sort of like PC gaming quite a lot of years ago, really. So I keep a console just to play multiplayer games with my mates, and mainly for my son. He loves playing on the console, so I miss out on a lot of these new Sony releases. However, I'm sort of blessed at the moment with a lot of the Sony exclusives coming to the PC. So the Final Fantasy VII Reborn, or whatever it was, that came out a few years ago. I've got that. I've bought that, downloaded that, and I've got to play that. So I'm hoping by the time it takes me to complete that, which is going to be a while, that the new one will be out on PC by that time. So I'll be able to play that one straight after. But I know you've been playing it, Mark. What are your thoughts on that so far, matey?
I've finished the remake, platinum that on PS5. I'm playing with the Rebirth, but I'm playing on stream. But because I'm playing Like a Dragon also, I don't want to kind of push that to one side and then concentrate on Final Fantasy. So I'm trying to get Like a Dragon done first and then move on to Rebirth. But the remake and what I've seen so far of Rebirth, it's amazing. Graphically, when I was on stream, I was literally constantly looking around at all the scenery. And obviously you've got the favourite characters. Favourite characters, that's Sephiroth.
The graphics on games now are phenomenal, aren't they? The way that games have progressed since the SNES and the 64 and stuff like that is absolutely insane. Honestly amazing. But I've been playing a little bit of Power World as well with my son, and that is one of the most ridiculous games I think I've ever played. I've got like a little monkey pal. It looks like Grookey the Pokemon. It's called Tanzine, and I've literally crafted it a machine gun. So one of its special attacks is just got like an Uzi, and he just starts spraying up different pals.
Nice.
It's just mad. So we're playing that a little bit today as well, to be honest. So yeah, that's sort of got me by the by a chokehold a little bit at the moment as well. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
With
there's
yeah, with games, obviously with friends, it's much better, isn't it? Like I remember
oh
back in the day
yeah.
when Minecraft came out, it was literally me and my brother and my mates went on it for what 20 minutes. Next minute, it was like dark outside. It was like 8 hours later, and we just planned to be on it for 20 minutes, and we were there building all these creations.
Yeah, it's like every 2 minutes is like an hour, really, isn't it, in real life? So it's
Yeah,
like it takes over, it really does. And obviously, I try and play quite a lot of games with my son at the moment. We've built him like a little bit of a gaming PC as well. It's nothing special, but he's been playing like
nice.
Pixelmon, which is Minecraft, but it's like a Pokemon mod, so you can catch Pokemon on Minecraft.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah, he's been playing that a lot recently as well. And obviously, he's 8 years old now, so he's older than what I was when I started video games. And even stuff like Fortnite, it's not a lot of people's cup of tea, but it's almost like a nice way for us to bond. We just play a few video games, and Fortnite especially, it's nice watching him as well, sort of pick games up a little bit better and understand a little bit more. And obviously, as he's progressed in school, reading monologue and dialogue and that sort of stuff as well is come a long way. So it's almost like I've got my own little gaming buddy constantly 24/7 type thing. So if none of my mates can come on, he's always there sort of thing. So yeah, that's always a plus.
Yeah, going back to gaming with friends, I remember GoldenEye for me, and probably yourself and Quake and Chorok were big games
Torok
for me.
especially, yeah. I can never remember which Torok it was. I just remember what the cartridge on the 64 looks like. It was like a black cartridge, which was different to like all of the other ones. Every other cartridge that
Mm.
we had was grey, apart from the Torok one was just black, and that's the only thing I remember from it.
Yeah,
And the
I think we
Battlefront as
had.
well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That they've recently released the Battlefronts, haven't they? Again, and they're very nostalgic games for me. On the PS2, I used to literally sink hours a day. Come back from school and sink hours and hours into those games.
But back then, it seemed like we had more hours of the day. But
Oh yeah,
these days,
adulting
time just flies
adulting
past.
takes over, unfortunately, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You got work commitments and you got food, and then it's just yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
I do
bedtime.
wish sometimes. I do wish
Yeah.
sometimes I had more hours. That was what the positive side of the COVID thing is, that when we all got to work from home for a bit, it was just like a bit of a relief, really, in a sense, a bit of a break to catch up on games and stuff. So yeah, that was like a break from it.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that's right.
as we say, we like gaming, but we also are into our anime, and I know Martin has as well, and myself. We both just finished watching Solo Leveling, which is obviously the latest sort of like up and coming anime. I took some notes of that, and I know Martin has as well, because obviously I'll speak for myself on this, but I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it next week, and we're going to miss it this Saturday. Sorry, when it's not being released because it's finished. I've really enjoyed it. The fights, the animation's great. The story was better than sort of like most of the RPG style animes I've ever seen. There's parts of it as well that are sort of relatable in terms of an RPG, where it's just sinking loads of points into strength. And I know a lot of people, most people, when they've started an RPG, where they've got stat points, they're just thinking, yeah, I just want to be strong as possible. And they're just
Guilty.
smashing it through.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that did make me laugh as well is the theme tune. It's for some of you High School Musical Disney fans out there. It's like I think it's a Korean theme tune, but it sounds like it should be in a High School Musical movie. I literally went to my wife. I was like, just listen to this theme tune. Doesn't it sound like it should be in High School Musical? And she agreed. So I know I'm not being crazy. So yeah, it's one I've watched recently, and it's definitely up there for this year for me in terms of one of the best ones I've watched so far this year. So, what are your thoughts on it, Mark?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the fighting was really good, and if people like a bit of gore, well, I'll say a bit of gore, a lot of gore in anime, you
Yeah,
won't get. Yeah, I mean that was just full of bloodshed. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the main character, the protagonist. How he obviously at first he starts off weak, not spoiling anything, but first stuff starts off weak, and then he goes off soul level on his own and becomes this more powerful character. And I did like his class in it as well, which is like a rogue type class. I thought that was really good,
yeah,
and
that's
it's one of my favourites.
That's definitely a different thing, wasn't it, in terms of like anime, because you typically get the massive over the top swords, where he had an actual dagger, which was sort of a little bit more realistic, I suppose, in a sense. They
Yeah,
sort of stepped away from it a little bit there as well.
but
But
yeah,
yeah, the
yeah, I
gore,
really enjoyed it.
yeah, the gore is next level on it. Some of the things he does as well, he loses his head a little bit as he becomes more powerful in terms of like his ego and stuff. But I can't even fault him, mate. Like if I was becoming that powerful, I'd do the same. Like I really would.
Yeah, I would too. Yes.
Yeah, what are you watching at the
Just
moment then, Martin?
I'm watching My Hero Academia, Blood Iron Blood Orphans, which is a
Gundam,
Gundam
yeah.
show. Yeah, that's them at the moment. I've got a Death Note as well, which I'm watching. But I know it's your fault that I'm watching My Hero Academia because you messaged me saying I'm going to start this, and then
Okay.
like a couple of days earlier, my mate says I finished season one. It's really good. I want to get back on it. So it kind of pushed me in that direction, and I finished season one already, and I love it.
Yeah, I literally said, right, mate, I'm literally watching first episode of MHA now. And you was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on it, and you're literally like 4 episodes in front of me already. I've been slacking. I've been proper slacking on it. But yeah, in terms of MHA, it's a lot of fun actually at the moment. I'm enjoying it. I really like you messaged me saying a lot of the powers that they've got and stuff like that. A lot of the different powers were really really good ideas for like superheroes, and there's like yeah, obviously Deku's the main character. I mean it's been out for a long time now, but I feel like spoilers are probably out there already. But obviously he gets a power given to him almost in a sense, but he can't control it yet. And obviously I'm intrigued to know where it goes, how if he learns to control his power, how he learns to control his power, and just seeing all the other villains and all the other different characters around him progress as well. So there's a lot going off, but in a very good way. So I'm enjoying that at the moment. It's certainly one that I keep popping on in the morning when I wake up. So
Yeah, like I say, in some of the powers in it, some of the characters, one in particular, is it Todoroki, I think it is, which half his body is fire, half his body is ice, and with a touch he can do either. So I really thought that was a really powerful ability to have, and if I was a
yeah.
superhero, that would be definitely one I'd look at.
Yeah, it's almost like opposite elements. It's sort of like
Yeah,
you expect them to clash, but obviously he finds a way to work them out and make them sort of doable.
yeah,
But I've recently got up to date with JJK season 2, and if I'm deadly honest, season 2 of that it's just it's so much better than season 1, and I really enjoyed season 1 as well. But they've really outdone themselves in terms of not just the animation, but the cinematography of that as well. Just the way that they've angled, obviously they drew it all in a certain angle of the camera, that sort of thing, and the fight sequences are absolutely amazing. And what I do like about it, luckily, is because it's such a complex sort of like ability system and fighting system, and obviously how they use their abilities. They do a very good job of explaining the abilities of characters on it. So I'm not going to get into too much of it because Martin's not seen it fully yet. But one of the things I did message him is, as Martin's been to Japan recently, and I messaged him like, did you go to Shibuya? And he was like, yeah, of course I did. I was like, mate, you need to watch JJK season 2. I bet you've stepped foot on those streets, like literally where they
oh
fight in a
yeah,
lot of the scenes, because a lot of it's in Shibuya, like the station and everything. It's so good. It's like, yeah, it's certainly one of my top fives at the moment. So, yeah, I'm very much enjoying that.
yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's on my list. I've got a massive list, like my games list. It will never be completed.
It's just forever growing. You can never catch up with
Yeah,
your list, can you?
it's people
You
are
tick
saying,
one off and you add 4 on. It's like,
yeah, people are saying, "Oh, watch this." I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it looks really good. I'm gonna add that to my list, and then the list just continues on and on and on.
it's like a mash out, isn't it?
Yeah,
For you, those who don't know, it's almost like a Harry Potter type anime. So it's set in like a wizarding world, I guess, in a sense. I've only watched 1 episode, but the theme tune to that, the intro, is so sick on that, mate. Like I've literally added it to my playlist. It's like a mad like melodic metal song at the beginning. It's proper good. It's yeah, it's I remember I put it on, and a lot of times it comes up on Crunchyroll or whatever, skip intro. And to be fair, I'm guilty of a lot of the times skipping the intro. And it started on that, and I was like, man, I've got to listen to this. This is mad. This is. So I've like watched part of episode 2, sorry, and yeah, I certainly, it's safe to say I didn't skip the intro again. Then it's just too good. But
with most animes as well, like like halfway through the season, they'll change like the intro and obviously the
that's
ending.
right.
So you might have some more music to look forward to. Some more
There is,
music.
there is. I know there is, because I literally messaged my group chat, my mates. I literally just started my show. It's like a Harry Potter type one, and one of my mates, Grant, he's a bit of a Harry Potter fan. I was like, you should have a look at it, mate. Just see what it's like as well. I've only watched the first episode, so I can't really judge it. And all I put was the intro is sick. And then my other mate went, "Oh yeah, the intro is wicked," and he sent me like a YouTube video. I was like, "That's not the right one." He was like, "Oh no, this one's for season 2." I was like, "What? This one's sick as well." So they're like killing it. They're killing it on the music front. They are.
But yeah,
yeah,
literally as soon as it started, my show, I was like, "This is." I looked at the title. This is Harry Potter, isn't it? And then
yeah. It's funny as well. I noticed all the episodes are like the bloke's name. Which is like Mash Beardhead or something. I can't remember what his name was. But and then it says and then something else, like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. All the episodes are named like that, like Harry Potter movies. So that made me laugh as well. But yeah, it's quite good so far. So I'm gonna keep picking it up, because it does seem it does seem like a fun one, to be honest with you. But my focus at the moment is My Hero Academia. I want to get up to date with that. I think there's a new season of that coming out this year, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's
is it like May or something
7th.
like that?
May the 4th.
May
May the 4th.
May the 4th.
No, May the 4th. Yeah.
And Demon Slayer as well, the new arc of that comes out May the 12th, I believe. So I've got to, if you're not up to date with that, get up to date with it. The last arc it's probably my least favourite out of all of them. Still enjoyed it, had a good ending. But again, it's another one. There's a lot of anime at the moment where it's just so much better, and a lot of these stigma around anime as well is, the dub's crap, the dub's rubbish, you got to watch it in sub, and someone like myself who's got 2 children, who's trying to watch it on a laptop on the sofa, I can't always keep 100% focus on the dialogue and reading the subtitles. Obviously I don't know Japanese, so half the time I don't know if the voice acting is even good or not, because I just don't understand the language. But in terms of like dub from sort of like 15 years ago, even 5 years ago in some senses, to now, the dub versions are a lot better. They've got some like really good voice actors now, and obviously the animation as well has come along a long way, a really long way. And obviously Demon Slayer is one of them ones that really shows it and shines. So yeah, if you haven't seen Demon Slayer, get on Demon Slayer, get up to date. As I say, you've got till May, so you've got about 6 weeks to get up to date with it. So plenty of time to get up to date with that.
Yeah, just going on the dub point. With Solo Leveling, because the dub version's not out yet, you will be able to watch that with subtitles in Japanese.
Yes, I think it's dubbed up until like a certain episode number or something, and then the last few episodes are in sub now. I think it's like the last 3 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I also found a point on the main character from Solo Leveling. In the English version, will be the voice actor of the guy who voices Zenitsu in Demon Slayer as well.
Zenitsu, legend.
Zenitsu, yeah.
Absolute legend, Zenitsu. Just falls asleep all the time. It's how I feel today.
Can you imagine that, just falling asleep and then waking up and like the body's around you, like, what happened?
Just everyone's dead and you've killed every single one of them. That's like a good concept to like a movie, that is, isn't it? Like an action movie.
Yeah, like, what did you do? I don't know what I did.
Like a John Wick film, like Zed Wick, mate. Just all the Zeds like snoring. It's just like asleep killing people.
That could be anime we could make.
That's it. Yeah, that's one. We'll start illustrating it now, mate. We'll get a manga going. But if you've got any suggestions for any anime, drop them in the comments or get on our Discord. Like I say, get in the Discord. Obviously, I appreciate if you're listening to this on a podcast service. You're probably in your car or something. You can't really drop us a comment, but as I say, hop in the Discord and have a chat with us. And obviously, we're into sort of like TV shows and movies and stuff as well. Marvel fans, for example. I've read plenty of Marvel comics. It's probably Spider-Man's probably my favourite one. One of my favourite comics, or my favourite versions, is Superior Spider-Man. Read all of those, and yeah, that's a sick comic series if someone wants to read that. But essentially, a couple of crossovers. Essentially, is at the Anime Japan 2024 event, they announced that there's going to be a Suicide Squad anime, which is I think due sometime in July, I think it was. And I looked at a few bits. Joker seems very manic in it. He seems absolutely mental, which I love. I absolutely love that. So it looks quite promising. So for anyone who's new to anime or wants to get into anime but doesn't know where to start, if you like comic book movies, maybe start there. Maybe just wait for that to come out. Start there. There's a couple of different ones. There's a movie called Samurai Batman, I think it's called, or Ninja Batman or something. It's quite an oldish one now. It's very random, to be fair. I enjoy it. I like it, but I get the weirdness of anime. For someone that's quite new, you might not understand the weirdness of that. Why there's temples turning into like mech robots that Joker's riding. Like, you might not understand some of the concepts that they're trying to pull off in it because it is quite random. But yeah, I think anime gets a lot of bad press. Not really bad press, but you get a lot of people negatively talking about anime. I think the main reason is because it's animated. And they think it's for kids essentially, but trust me, when you even Solo Leveling, I wouldn't let my 8-year-old watch that. It's very, very gory. There's a lot of blood, and I don't think people understand that anime itself isn't a genre. It's just animation. That's literally what it means. It's just a type of TV show or movie, and then there's horror, there's superhero stuff in that. My Hero Academia is a prime example for that. There's plenty of action, romance, rom-com. Any sort of genre of movie, TV show that you've ever seen, it's in anime and more. There's trust me, there's so much to go by. So if you're sort of like unsure, again, drop in the Discord. Let us know what sort of movies you're into, TV shows you're into, and we'll drop you some recommendations as well. We're happy to obviously to recommend some stuff based on what you think.
Yeah, and
So yeah,
like I say, for people getting into anime, literally, there's so many different genres, like you said. So if people are a bit hesitant, then obviously get recommendations of other people. Get lost in these worlds that anime provide, and you have a really good time.
Yeah. There's a lot of. I mean, it's an art form. It really is, and there's a lot of people out there, a lot of Japanese, obviously animators, and they are very good at storytelling. That's all it comes down to. If you're into sort of like story-based things, or you like, obviously delving into sort of like more story-driven things, a lot of them are very well written. And I'm a big music fan, and I do like a lot of genres of music. But my main thing is that the song is well written. So it's almost like a similar thing. You've got to be. If you know what you like, there's going to be something for you. You could even literally, if you're really into horror, you could literally just search top 10 horror anime, for example, and just start there. Death Note, I'm sure, will come up there. But yeah, I think that's a positive thing to do, is that if you want to get into anime, think about what shows and movies you currently like, and then just look for something similar. Because trust me, it's going to be out there.
One of the ones on my list, Vinland Saga. I know at the time when I started that, Vikings was out, and I was playing through Valhalla on the PS5.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need something more. And then all of a sudden, Vinland Saga came out, smashed the first season, halfway through second season already, and that's the one I need to get back on. But like I say, it's genres in all sorts for everybody. So get on.
Yeah, and luckily, if you like us and you're not sort of bound to a genre, you like loads of different stuff, you can pretty much just start anywhere. There's something within everything. So I've watched your classic sort of slice of life, romantic types anime in the past. I've liked them as well. Some of them are actually very well written. I've seen a lot of horror anime. Yeah, there's so much out there. Obviously, I'm a typical guy where I like a lot of action as well. So I like stuff like Naruto.
Yeah.
I like JJK, Demon Slayer, that sort of stuff. But as you know, a lot of people probably argue it with Naruto. But they're the world building as well is a big thing. And once you get to know the characters, and obviously sort of Naruto is the biggest one for me in terms of Shippuden, for example. Once you start building around the characters and world building, you get to that last part, the Great Ninja War or the Pain Saga, or the Pain Arc, should I say? Sorry, for example, and you sort of get drawn into stuff. And another thing as well is shorts and TikTok's probably a good idea as well if you're unsure. The best bits of most stuff are on there, so you can probably have a look through and see if anything sort of like tickles your fancy, so to speak, and just and go through that. I've added plenty of anime to my list based on a short that I've seen that's like 11 seconds long. So
Like
yeah, it's
a cool looking fight or something like that. You're like, yeah, that's
you're
for me.
like, yeah, that looks sick. That looks so good.
So with anime, where did it start for you? Like, what's your when you think of anime, what is the start of it for you, or what brings back the most memories for
What
you?
brings back the most memories for me is probably Dragon Ball Z and Digimon. Um,
Digimon. Okay.
Digimon, yeah, honestly, I was a massive, massive Digimon fan, and there was a game on PS1, a Digimon game on PS1, and it was one of the best RPG sort of games I've ever played. It's certainly the best Digimon game, because on Digimon, unlike Pokemon, is that you had your Digimon and it followed you around, it spoke to you, that sort of stuff. And this was like that, and it weren't turn based battling. You literally went into something and you just started battling it and using like your shouting abilities at your Digimon to attack them and stuff. And but yeah, that was sick. And Digimon's one of the big ones for me in terms of what I remember watching when I was younger. But Dragon Ball Z is the biggest, got to be. And I know Dragon Ball Z is iconic, it really is. But I understand its pacing issues. That's why they released that Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is what I recommend to people to watch if they want to get into Dragon Ball, purely because the pacing is a lot better on it. The animation's a little bit better. The voice acting's a little bit better. There's not that much in it, but it's the main thing's the pacing.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid and you're watching like a couple of episodes every day or every other day on Toonami or whatever it's called on Sky or whatever it was, he never bothered, and it was a big thing as well back in the day. A lot of my friends sort of like it as well, and that's how a lot of us sort of like bonded in a sense, is through mutual things like anime and that sort of stuff. And yeah, Dragon Ball Z is a massive one for me. It's definitely what got me into it, and obviously Akira's recently passed away, and
Yeah.
as you can see, his influence on the sort of like anime world was absolutely phenomenal. It was insane. So a lot of people, most animators you can think of, so like Kishimoto, who does Naruto, for example, he reached out. Oda at One Piece, he reached out. There's quite a lot of animators and obviously these people behind these really big projects now, that obviously look up to him or looked up to him, and they got a lot of inspiration from him. So, even if you don't
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball Z, you cannot argue the fact that it's the godfather of anime, essentially, or that sort of type of anime, shonen anime. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to go to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I looked into Akira as well, and I found some points that he's done like 46 years in the business. So yeah, he's a legend. He worked
It's a
on
lot, that.
character designs. He worked on character designs such as like Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest games, Chrono Trigger, and Blue Dragon, which was on Xbox, which I played before. So yeah, he's had a
Yeah,
real big influence all around the world. Saw a video on Facebook of people in South America doing the raising the hands. I think you mentioned the
Spirit
other day
Bomb.
what it was.
Yeah, the Spirit
Yeah.
Bomb. That.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I've not
so it's
watched
a touching tribute. So yeah.
I've not watched Dragon Ball myself, but I appreciate it's such a big anime for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially as I say, just inspiration really. And he's got one of them styles as well where if you look at characters, I like to say with Dragon Quest, for example, you know it's him. You know it's his
Mm.
designs. Like he had a very unique, specific way of drawing people with spiky hair, essentially. Like that you just know it's him who's done it. It's just one of them things.
Mm.
So yeah, as R.I.P. to Akira is a true legend. It was a sad day when obviously we heard of his passing.
Mm.
Even as I say, even if you weren't a Dragon Ball fan, you cannot fault him for what he's done and what he's done for the community and what he's done for anime in general. So yeah, it's certainly a big name, and it was certainly a dark day for the anime community. So
I know. I remember when I was in Japan and I saw all the Dragon Ball stuff. and I was like messaging like, "Oh mate, you need to come to Japan." It's just you spend like 200, 300 quid in one shop because there's so much like figures and they're like dirt cheap as well.
Yeah,
So
one day, I wish I could afford it. My son literally today said, "Dad, I really want to go to Japan. Like, I really do." And that's your fault, Martin. That is because when you sent me those videos of Nintendo World and Universal Studios or whatever,
my bad,
he
my
was
bad.
on YouTube like looking at Nintendo World tours. I was like
Yeah,
looking around Nintendo World on YouTube, thinking like this is amazing because he's a massive Nintendo fan as well. So
and
yeah, it's
just
I've
yes, just
wanted to
like I
go
was
to
saying,
Japan.
in Japan as well. Like when I went, I had a whole case full, like coming back of figures. I sent you pictures. I'll put some on the Discord as well.
Yeah,
All sorts of stuff like Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball Z. Just looking back now, um, Final Fantasy, all these things. I had a full case, so it was good
yeah.
to
You
open up
got me
the other
that
side.
the little Gundam figure as well, which is sitting nicely on my dashboard in my car currently. And yeah, I think it was like you said it was like 100 yen or something, which I translated to like 56 pence or something in England.
Yeah,
It's like
it's something ridiculous. Yeah.
pennies, literal pennies, like so cheap, so cheap. But
And that's
yeah,
what,
I'll get there one day.
yeah. Obviously, I brought that Gundam figure for you, and that kind of both inspired us to watch or to get back onto Gundam for
Yeah, to get back
yourself.
into it. Yeah, because we
Yeah,
was talking about it literally about 3 or 4 days before you left to go, didn't we?
yeah.
And yeah, because obviously there's a lot involved with Gundam. It's quite complicated, isn't it? And obviously we found a list of how to watch it, but yeah,
And it,
it's another one of them things. If you like robots, just watch it. It's just good. It don't matter what you watch any of it. It's good.
also inspired me as well. We went to a diver in Japan and saw the massive Gundam model, and there's so many pictures of that, and it was
Oh,
so
you showed
awesome. I
me. It
was
was
like,
so sick. Yeah, so
I was like, I
sick.
need to get into Gundam, and came back, started Iron Blooded Orphans, which is an alternative universe one. So really enjoying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out I didn't know this for years and years because the only one I ever really watched was Gundam Wing, which was the one that was on TV, and that is an alternative universe one. That's pretty much all of my Gundam knowledge came from that. So I literally had all this Gundam knowledge for an alternative universe that wasn't really part of the main one. So I was like, all right, okay. So I've got to learn all this now. I've got to learn about all these characters. So there's been
Yeah.
a recent one come out, Gundam one. I can't remember what it's called now. It's called The Witch of something or other.
Witch of Mercury. Witch
Witch
of
of
Mercury.
Mercury. That's it.
Yeah.
I believe it's won an award or got nominated for a Crunchyroll award or something. I think it's like
Oh,
the
okay.
first ever female-fronted Gundam show or something.
Oh,
But the
okay.
animation's meant to be really nice. It's meant to be really good. So I'll probably give that a watch at some point as well. But you
Just
can't go wrong with big robots.
it's too much anime to watch in there. So
Yeah,
little time.
yeah. You need to watch Neon Genesis, Evangelion Neon Genesis as well. That's so sick. That is. I remember that was another one I used to watch back in the day.
I think
So,
that's on Netflix. I think now.
oh, is it?
I think
Oh,
it is. Yeah, I think
I'll
it's
have to get
possible.
back on that then. Yeah, I used to back in the day when the internet was really bad. I used to literally in the morning wake up and used to get like 5 or 6 episodes open on a web browser and go to school just so they could all buffer throughout the day. So when I got back from school, I could get straight on it and watch them one after the other. Because if I didn't, it'd like I'd be watching like 11 seconds and then it'd be
Yeah,
buffering, and I'd watch 11 seconds, it'd be buffering. So we used to always do that.
it's amazing now. Like with games and anime as well. Like you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, I can't get any better than this.
Yeah, I
And then
know.
graphics now and animation now, phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I want to have a chat as well about sort of some of our top picks this week. So my top pick this week in terms of gaming, touched on it earlier, got to be Lethal Company because I can guarantee you this Sunday, me and my mates are on it again. Every single Sunday, it's at least once a week. Obviously, most of us have got kids and work and stuff like that, so it's if we could, trust me, we'd be on it every single day. But yeah, it's some of the best value for money in terms of gaming I've ever had. So yeah, I'm still loving that, and hopefully I continue to do so.
I think for me, top picks. I've got a couple. The Yakuza game, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I've spent 40, 50 hours on it at the moment. The game's really good. It's wacky. The fighting's good, the story's good, but also what got me hooked was there's part of it where you go because you're in Hawaii, you go to Hawaii in it. You have a resort where you have to like create your own resort, and you're doing all this mining and you're putting all these like buildings in the right place, and then you get guests coming in, but like giving you money. It's so addictive.
It's almost like a hotel tycoon type game.
Yeah, it
I
is.
remember as well on that you mentioned to me a few weeks back. There's like a fake dating game on it, and you was talking to this girl on the dating app. You went up to
Yeah.
meet with her, and it was like a bloke. It was like a guy.
An
It was
old
like, what
dude
the
in
hell?
pants.
It was like a guy in his pants. Like, what the hell was happening, man?
Yeah, it's just the guy's face. Yeah, the main character's face is like, oh man, so funny.
Top pick in anime is Solo 11. It's got to be. It's a nice short one. I think it's 12 episodes. You can easily do it in 1 to 2 day binge, depending on how busy you are. Animation's good. I couldn't. The sub, to be fair, I watched a few episodes in sub. Semp's fine. The dub's really good as well. So I don't think it matters how you watch it, as long as you watch it. So yeah, give it a go. It's really good.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, Solo Leveling's really a one to watch. It's 12 episodes. Or was it 13 episodes? But a dead short one. Obviously, the
Yeah, it's not
episodes are
long.
like 23 minutes each, as with most animes. But yeah, definitely worth watching. And it leaves it on a cliffhanger. Not spoiling anything, but it leaves it a cliffhanger at the end of the season one. Like once he wants you to you want him more, and
Oh yes,
there's
yeah,
so many
massively.
different stories that it's going to progress to. So yeah, definitely one to watch.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll end it here. Really, I think we've had a nice chat, and I just want to basically say thanks for watching / listening. If you've reached us this far, um, drop a like, subscribe, follow us if you're watching us on a or listening to us, should I say, on Spotify, for example, or any podcast platform that you're listening to this on, and yeah, so get onto our socials. They'll all be linked in the description. Discord, Martin's Twitch, YouTube, my YouTube, and yeah, let us know. Let us know feedback as well. If there's some things you want us to touch on next time. If you've got any funny sort of like pictures from Dragon's Dogma, especially, we'd love to
Yeah,
see them. We'd love to see them.
give us some nightmares.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think next podcast was talking about doing something to do with like superheroes as well. So if any of you out there have got any favorite superheroes, worst superheroes, then drop it as well in Discord or drop a
Yeah,
comment in
definitely.
YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. This one's more of us. Obviously, we've chatted a little bit about recent stuff we've been watching, but it was more of an introduction to ourselves and obviously the podcast mainly. So
Mm.
so you won't be well. Hopefully now you know us, so you don't need to hear about our past and what we've been up to now. We've got into stuff. So yeah, hopefully the next time we're going to jump straight in with latest sort of like things we've been doing, watching. We're going to do a couple of drafts, like we say. We're probably going to do something like. A team of 5 each of the top, or should I say the bottom superheroes, the worst superheroes we can find, and see if we can make the worst team possible.
Oh,
So yeah,
I've been doing research. Don't worry about that. There's some
yeah,
really
I
bad ones out
bet.
there.
But yeah,
But
thanks for
yeah,
listening / watching.
yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, been really fun. So
Spot on. We'll catch you all next time.
yeah, take care.